tourism and hospitality industry has cited a positive growth within the sector after a challenging 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The sector is eagerly awaiting the finance minister's budget speech, which they hope will include them in the budget plan to help address challenges and unlock new opportunities. The tourism sector's substantial contribution of 7.6% to the country's GDP remains crucial for economic growth. The sector recorded a 48.9% surge in international tourism in 2023, with 8.5 million arrivals. They say this showcases South Africa's global attraction. Amongst the challenges they face, however, is the backlog of infrastructure and crime. The sector says investing in regional airports is vital to enhancing accessibility and affordability for domestic travellers. To unpack this conversation for us, we're now joined by Alan Campbell. And of course, Alan is Sales and Marketing Director for ANEW Hotels and Resorts. And he joins us via our video link. Alan, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Perhaps maybe let's start off here. When it comes to the challenges that remain in the hospitality industry post-COVID, maybe if you can just give us an insight into that.
Thanks, Mbali. Yes. Well, I think there's been some great progress year on year, but we're still a long way off the pace from 2019. I think, if I'm not mistaken, global tourism is still about 23% behind. And we're projecting to, I think, now finish at about 4.1% of GDP. Compared to the highs of 2019 and prior years where we were close to 9%. So there's a lot of potential, a lot of opportunity, but a long way to go.
And when it comes to some of the hindrances in the hospitality sector, I know that crime is also a big factor, particularly when you look at, what has taken place in recent months, especially to tourists in the country. What challenges are you facing there when it comes to crime problems in the country?
South Africa needs to be safe, both for our citizens and for visitors. And the last thing we want scaring people away is the potential of being affected by crime. There have been some great initiatives by, say, tourism, with job creation in creating marshals and tourism hotspots. But we need better policing, especially around national parks and national tourist attractions. State-owned.
And when it comes to infrastructure in the country, I know that this is also something that affects those in your industry. What problems have you encountered there?
Infrastructure is a big problem. I sat recently in a mayoral brief where it was stated that roughly 1% of the available roads in the municipality would be retarred or repaved in the next financial period. And we're seeing closures of resorts and hotels through inaccessibility. Trips that used to take 10 minutes via road, the roads are barely accessible, and that same trip now takes about 4 hours. So the impact on getting people to tourist destinations and unlocking the tourism value of destinations is certainly crumbling around us a little bit.
And when it comes to your appeal to government, I mean, we are awaiting that budget vote that will be delivered by the finance minister. What are you appealing to government to assist this sector?
Certainly infrastructure. Infrastructure needs a big boost. We'd also really like to see, more acknowledgement, I guess, of the sector. It was disappointing to not hear the word tourism in SONA. And we want government to be a little bit more deliberate about the sector and working with us. We believe tourism has massive potential to unlock jobs and growth in the economy, which is what we desperately need. And we want government to engage with us and talk with us and budget appropriately for us and to improve infrastructure, improve accessibility to our country.
And what makes the tourism sector so important to this country? I mean, it contributes significantly to the GDP.
It does. I mean, if we look at global tourism numbers, global contribution to GDP is about 9.6% and it's looking to rise to 10.4% in the coming years. We're sitting at about 4%. We've been at 8% previously. And we've got all the potential in the world to grow as a premium tourism destination globally. But we're lacking in our recovery still. We're still behind North America, Europe, Latin America. And when it comes to the global tourism market, it's not a very forgiving one. So we really have all the recipes, all the ingredients required to be really successful and have tourism be a catalyst for growth in the economy and employment. But we really need government to engage with the private sector, be deliberate about funding that growth.
And what more needs to be done to ensure that, when you're dealing with the tourism sector, that indeed it does continue to thrive, especially because of how important it is to the GDP?
I think the big thing is government really needs to help empower the private sector. At the moment, it's forecast that over the next 10 years or so, tourism will create another 800,000 jobs. In 2019, we employed 1.5 million people. I think we've just recovered to about 1.1. So tourism as a growth medium for the country is potentially huge. And government needs to work with us to really unlock that potential.